Recording in progress.
Sounds groovy.
Thank you so much, Sheila. Those egg white delights, to die for. Jesus Christ.
Man. Sheila has been, we gave her 6-week review, and she's like, you know what? I have to step it up. And she's been stepping up. She filled the cups up with coffee.
She just slacked me right now, actually. And what she said was, she said, you know what? Waive my salary for this year. I love this project so much. I don't even need to get paid.
I said, fine.
I said, fine.
Definitely in the budget.
Why don't you start paying us? You know?
Yeah.
Let's make this real.
Pay us and we'll do even better.
So as of right now, Sheila is the interim CEO of this project. So she's kind of got us by the balls.
Well, she makes it all. She's the one who makes it work. If that makes sense.
And she knows how to work it. Let's move away from this sexist intro and move right into good evening, good morning, and good day. It's another installment of your favorite mental wellness podcast, Tales from the Head, with my special host, Danny. To my left or my top or wherever view he is in currently in gallery mode. You look good though, Dan. How you feel?
Thanks, man. Chilling like a villain.
You don't look like a villain.
Well, I think it's like a saying.
No, I know, but you look like someone I would support.
Thank you. So I can be a crooked-ass politician.
Never mind. Yeah, you're right. Maybe you should be a villain because I kind of like that side of you better.
All right. Fine. Sold. So
yeah, this last week we kind of focused mostly on the most common phobias and fears. And this week we're going to be mostly focusing on the most unusual ones. So these are the most common, wacky, weird, creepy, fetishy kind of shit. So that's gonna it will be. It'll be interesting. We're gonna dive into a little bit of that, and then we're gonna go into some treatment, which is kind of interesting, and then just wrap it all up. But in the meantime, I just wanted to touch base. I got a week before my trip to Iowa. To see the amazing. I like how I keep to everyone I'm bragging about. I'm just bragging about Turnstile. I just keep bragging about Turnstile, and they're like a 2:00 band. So it's interesting because, but that's how it's always been with festivals with me and the guys. It's like we're always super stoked about the early bands. And
I mean, I feel like those are the up and coming bands. That's why.
Yeah, definitely. I think we got a little audio.
Hold on.
We're fixing something right now. Stand by.
It's standby.
I need to get a cool. There we go. I need to get a cool standby thing.
No, hold on. I'm still messing up over here.
It's all good.
Hold on. Okay, I think I'm in. Okay, yeah, our audio engineer just quit on us like a couple weeks ago. So we've been having technical issues with me. Let me tell, for those who are listening, let me tell you what's going on. I record in a interface, if you will. I believe a USB interface. I'm not gonna say the brand unless they want to sponsor us. But it's a blue box. 2-channel, 2-box little USB interface. And the problem is when I connect it to my computer, if for some reason, as soon as I start recording, it like connects and disconnects without me like unplugging it or plugging it in. And that's what was going on right now, where it's just like I was kind of in and out, is because my computer it was connecting, disconnecting. I'm not sure if I need a new USB cable for this, or maybe just I'll have to look into. I'll have to read up Reddit or something.
I would buy a new cable.
Yeah, new USB cable.
Yeah.
Quick fix.
Quick fix. Probably the problem.
All right.
If it isn't, new interface. But you probably don't need to do that, but I'm just saying.
No. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, how many years has it been?
This one, about 2 years.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. They should last a while, but it's technology.
Yeah. It's a great interface. It's very easy. It's not an expensive one. It's like $100 or something, a little bit over 100 maybe. But it's a 2-channel blue one. I'm not gonna give no brands or anything until they decide to sponsor us. But if y'all ever interested, shoot me a text and I'll let you know which ones I have. Because this is a great one. I do love this interface a lot. I feel it's very, very great. Look at us talk about music as always.
I know. I'm such a troll, though. I literally wanted to be like, Danny's plugging something that hasn't been working for the last 5 minutes. So please, if you're interested in having a thing that also doesn't work, check it out.
Yeah. Hey, who knows? It's like a Russian roulette. It might work for you. You might get the same problem as I do.
Spend $100 and you might get an interface. Yeah.
No, dude. But yeah, I feel like we always been into like those 2 o'clock bands or something because dude, we're like music snobs. All right. We're like little music snobs. And we always like, I don't know about you, but I get off in like knowing I was amongst the first ones who found out about this band before they blew up. Where I was like amongst, it's always like, oh, I knew. I guess it's like the hipster in us or like the fucking gatekeeper in it. It's like, oh, I knew about them before they blew up. Oh, you listen to them too? Oh, yeah. We're kind of like that. So I feel like with, because that's exactly what I'm getting with Turnstile now. Because like here we were a year ago talking, I was like, oh, yeah, dude, this band Turnstile.
Yeah.
And then when you first announced that you're going to go to Knotfest, I was like, oh, dude, you got to check out Turnstile. They're freaking dope. And then they released this freaking new album, which is freaking amazing. It's like they started from like a hardcore, like early 90s, like punk rock hardcore band.
Yeah.
And now they're like a shoegaze hardcore kind of. I don't know. It's freaking weird. It's amazing what they're doing. And I'm like, now I feel like every other like internet website's talking about Turnstile.
Well, it's cool because they're just doing their thing, and it's obvious that it's their thing because it doesn't sound like something generic. Also, I feel like they're a big enough. I feel like, because you never really know what direction a band's going to go, but I also feel like they're cool enough to the point where I don't think they're going to continue to sound this way. I could be wrong, but I feel like they are taking a turn on purpose. And it's not that they're going to go back to how they sounded, but I think they're going to keep kind of exploring. They just seem like one of those weird they're not experimental genre, but like as far as just the way they compose, they've,
Yeah, which band did this very well? And I'm not sure how much of a fan you are about this band, but one of my favorite bands is Thrice. And when it came out, super metalcore.
Yeah.
Like, the first album was amazing. Their second, Illusion of Safety, was freaking amazing. Their like groundbreaking one was The Artist in the Ambulance, and they were putting, they were on MTV, they were on the radio, they were huge. And then on the next album, they took like a little turn, like, not that far away from their sound, but they weren't being like, it wasn't as riffy, but it was still heavy. And then from there, they've just been kind of going, I think after that album, and they did an album where they just like mixed so many different genres. And I feel like they were just like, after that, they're like, we'll just do whatever we want. We don't want to confine ourselves to like one sound. It's still heavy. The riffs are still there. It's like a speed up doom kind of sound now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, or like the heaviness is there, but it's not like as fucking like 20-minute songs.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's not as droney, but it's still like really good, like chords and riffy and evil. It's just not as like slow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they just dropped a new album yesterday. I've been listening to it like crazy also. And it's really, really, it's fun because you can feel like the fundamentals of like their punk rock, metalcore, like,
so they're kind of doomy.
Still there.
They're kind of doomy now.
Yeah, they're kind of doomy.
That's cool because, like 4 years ago, I got super into doom. Have you ever heard of a band called shit? I just drew a fucking blank. I hate that.
Sun or something.
I've heard of them, but I'm thinking of. Damn it! I think it starts with a P. Pallbearer.
Oh yeah,
They're fucking cool.
Yeah, really freaking bet. And it's like one of those. Because when we think of like metal, we think like amazing as riffs and like just super fast and like breakdowns. And something that I appreciate about these like doom metal bands and like bands that are kind of like, you can tell they're influenced by doom.
Yeah.
It's just that they're heavy without like over trying,
Yeah.
It's just, it's all on the tone. And I think growing up, now I'm older, appreciate a good tone on the guitar in a song more than like an amazing riff. But riffs are good. Also, riffs are good.
I like it all. I think it's a
Yeah.
balance. But I know what you mean, because I feel like where we grew up, it was all about speed, and we were more like worshiping like all the speed and riffy shit, which I still
Yeah.
like. But I don't know. I know what you mean, because it's like Sabbath is kind of pretty much the inspiration for doom metal. So like, you
Yeah.
listen to Sabbath, you get like, you see like how they influence like all this shit. But it's super cool when you find bands that aren't just like doing the same old thing over and over again, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I feel like that's what Thrice has been doing for like the past 20 years now, you know?
Yeah.
Which is fucking amazing. And it's funny you bring up Sabbath because the singer Dustin of Thrice, he mentioned like they went back to the roots and they were listening to like Sabbath, they're listening to a lot of that kind of music, and they're like, dude, these bands are like so heavy without like the riffy parts, you know, like they're not like, and they also even influence like, dude, what song is it? By the Beatles, the She's So Heavy, the I want you so bad.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She's so, yeah. He was saying like, dude, that's basically, he's like, I'll make an argument that that's the first like doom metal song ever, because it's just so like, you know, it's just it's heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about heroin, obviously, but you know, it's just a heavy ass song with like the tone and like the time structures and the time changes and everything. So I'm like, you know what? It's a great perspective of music,
It is.
and that's all we ask for.
I mean, the Beatles were a favorite band of like many heavy metal people.
Yeah,
I'm not giving them that credit though.
you're like, that's a far stretch.
They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
All right.
They did a lot for rock and roll. You got enough accolades. You don't need to take doom metal away from Sabbath. Sorry.
Listen,
Come on, man.
listen,
They have
Beatles.
very
We
limited.
get it.
Yeah. Like,
Listen,
dude,
we get it. You're an
Jesus.
important piece of music history. We get it. We get it.
Let me guess. The real Paul McCartney was the real first person to land on the moon. Is that what you're gonna tell me? Get the fuck out of here.
That's why we have Fake Paul now.
Yeah, because the real one's still up there, dude. That's why we
He's
couldn't
still
go
up.
back. His ass is just rotting away with the fucking.
He's fucking Dr. Manhattan still.
He's just got his big blue dick.
Just letting it hang, baby. Just letting it hang.
Oh yes, I'm not even gonna cite that reference. If you don't get it, get a fucking.
You don't deserve.
take
You don't
a bus.
deserve it.
Yeah,
you don't deserve it.
You don't deserve anything. You're filth. And since we broke you down, let's build you back up. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go.
All right, that's a perfect segue to.
You Beatles, I'm not going to give you that credit. I love the fact that you're like, I get it. I understand it. I see where the reference is, but you're like, fuck that. I'm not going to give credit,
Yeah.
though. I agree with it, but
Hear
fuck
you?
it.
I get where you put those together, but it's nonsense.
I'm not going to allow it, though. Fuck
No.
you. Give us that.
No, you know what that was? That was like the guy. No offense to the guy from Thrice. Everyone has
Uh-huh.
opinions, and like he said, he would argue it. He's gonna lose the argument, and it's okay because you don't have to win them all. But but at the same time, it's like, oh, you're just saying a hot take, dude. And like, I'm not hating on the guy, but that's what he did.
Yeah.
He did a hot take, so it sounds controversial, and maybe he didn't do it quite on purpose, but it was smart. Because hey, look, we're talking about him. So there
If
you go.
anything, it was like a hipster thing.
It was.
Oh, well, I mean,
To piss
a lot of
off all
people
the
say Black
traditional,
Sabbath.
yeah, to piss off all the traditional metalheads.
And look what happened.
Yep, you did it. Congratulations. Is this what you
won,
wanted?
sir? Are you happy now?
Yeah,
Are you happy?
You fucking win, all right? Here we are. They always draw first blood, dude. I'll get the penalty flag. I don't care, but they started it.
You pissed off the like, you touched the most sacred of sacred in this band's Sabbath.
Well, it's just silly to me. It's like it's like talking about like Tom Brady, be like, oh, it's so fucked up how they like didn't let him get another trophy and like a MVP award. It's like the guy's done an unseen amount of records, history making. Like,
what does
it's
a
fun.
person, an athlete like Tom Brady needs to prove anymore. The man.
Well, that's what I'm saying with the Beatles. But that's the thing. I'm comparing what a fan said about the Beatles, not like Paul McCartney came out and said, "We invented doom metal." So I understand I'm mad at nothing.
Okay, what if Ringo Starr came out and said, "We invented doom metal"?
You know, Ringo's probably the most metal one in the group.
And then Ozzy's like, he's right, you know.
Well, okay, so I understand full well that there would be a large chance that both Ozzy and Lemmy, if he was still alive, would both tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah,
just because of how much they love the Beatles.
Lemmy will tell you 100%.
Well, the Beatles were Black Sabbath's favorite group too.
Yeah,
it's just those guys all looked up to the Beatles because that's what they were. The Beatles were like, that was it. I mean, before the Beatles, you had a bunch of weird like singer-songwriter people, and you had groups, but they were all like weird. Like, music was weird, dude. They really helped music out. And
you had the fucking Oneaters out there.
You had what?
The Oneaters out there,
or like
the Wonders,
or the Kingston Trio. I don't know, dude.
Oh, dude, I have one of those albums.
You do? But I mean, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Bad.
It's just super Americana. Like, it's just like
you had fucking Elvis.
But even Elvis is more hip than some of that other folk stuff. But true. But the only reason for that is because Elvis was glorified pop music, and they took songs that they knew were going to kill it because it was rock and roll and blues. But anyway, we don't need to get on an Elvis shit kick. But
we don't want to piss off that fandom.
We don't want to piss off him or his young wife.
Before we stop talking music, here's a question to consider: Who has the bigger and more diehard fandom base or fan base? Okay. Kiss or Elvis?
Oh, that's a silly question. Okay, but silly, but then no, it's still silly because Elvis is undoubtedly probably way more. But I it's getting to the point where in the next 30 years, it might be closer.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like there is a bigger Elvis fan. Oh, I mean, obviously there is a bigger Elvis fan base.
Bigger.
I mean,
he's more popular.
His fucking tour, you see his freaking house, and it's like a fucking line or something, Graceland or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like obviously, if I was talking to Gene Simmons, he'll say, "Oh, the Kiss Army, it's the biggest army."
Kiss Army. Kiss. I
love girl.
The thing I will give Kiss, but that's not what you asked, so I'm not even gonna go there.
No, but
I'm gonna go Elvis, who has a more electric fan base. No, I'm kidding. That's stupid. No, but I know what you're getting at, and Kiss has got a huge following. But I think he picked the one Megazord that he just can't get through. I mean, Elvis is just too big. Even if you disagree, he's the king of rock and roll. Even if you don't think he deserves the title, he has it. So you can't beat him. Like Kiss and the Beatles, like the Beatles. Do I like Kiss more than Elvis? Yes. I know that might sound weird to a lot of people, but as I've gotten older, it's like I've understood that Kiss's music's a little more original, so I appreciate it. Elvis was an amazing singer and performer.
But it wasn't original. It wasn't original to him. It's like he borrowed or stole.
But let me defend my fellow white man a little bit.
Okay.
Not that he needs it. I wanted to, but what I wanted to say was there's a lot of amazing singers that don't write their music. Whitney Houston doesn't write any of her music, or didn't write any of her music. Celine Dion, I don't think she writes any of her music.
Yeah.
So it's common when a lot of these great singers, it's rare when they write their own music, and it's mostly because the record industry is like, you're really good at this, so let us handle the other thing.
Yeah.
Some of them might be able to do it. I mean, Taylor Swift is a good example. She's not a powerhouse vocalist.
I think Adele. I
think she has input. I just don't know if she's composing anything. I don't.
That's
a good point. I think you're right. I think she might be, because she did pop into my head as someone who might be a little more hands on.
Yeah.
Versus someone who's just like I'm recording my part and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But even then, I just, once you're that, it's not even that you can't do it. It's that they probably don't even want you to. They're just like, no, you sing. We're gonna pay this $1 million songwriter to write something for you.
Yeah, we'll take care of it like everything else over here.
Yeah, because we got to get an ROI, baby. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh man.
Anyway, but yeah, that wasn't a knock on Taylor Swift. That was kind of just throwing her in the position of like,
No.
Kind of more
and
throwing her in
yeah.
the John Mayer boat. Not that she's like John Mayer, but she writes all her own music. And
Mm-hmm.
she's in the realm of singer-songwriters, which could either be like really crappy or
Yeah.
really, really amazing shit. So that's kind of the cool thing about that genre.
That's funny because I was just gonna tell you also. I was gonna tell you like, well, not everybody can be John Mayer, but
No.
and so it's funny that you still brought John Mayer up regardless.
Well,
John Mayer man the parents, as he should.
comparing Taylor Swift to John Mayer was probably as much as a weird thing as Kiss to Elvis.
Well,
No,
they
I don't
did
agree
date.
with that. I think Taylor
They
Swift
did
is
date.
probably... They did. He dated a lot of people, but I will actually make this argument. It sounds crazy. I think Taylor Swift is more popular than John Mayer.
You know what?
And
Yes.
personally, I like him more.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I'm like, he shits on her, fuck her. But I'm like, no, I like her. I like him more. But I think popularity-wise, I think she's got him.
I think so too. I think so too. And again, I feel like both artists are amazing. Like John Mayer's a fucking amazing artist,
Yeah.
composer, whatever, and so is Taylor. Just two different genres of music. Well, they're kind of now in the same kind of realm nowadays, but like just different roads to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say Taylor's a little bit. She's more of a household name.
Yeah, she's more accessible. Right.
Like you can ask a 14 or 15-year-old who Taylor Swift is, and they know, yes, 14, 15-year-old who Taylor Swift is,
Right.
Or John Mayer, and they'll be like, who the fuck is that?
Or they'll be like, yeah, my dad listens to him. Yeah.
No.
John Mayer, well, it's true. John Mayer isn't cool. I'm not saying he isn't cool as a person. I'm saying probably young kids. He's like jazz.
Yeah.
You know?
The man seems cool. Actually, John Mayer, if you ever listen to this, please, I want to party with you.
I want a baby with you. I mean, I want to party with you.
I want to party with you. I wanna party
Neil.
with you.
Fucking,
Neil.
oh, God. I love Saving Silverman.
Oh, dude, very fucking underrated movie.
It's one of my favorites.
Oh, it's you guys who send me naked pictures.
Yeah. Dude, we totally got this from him when he was taking a dump. Or, no, he was taking a whiz. It was his like
No.
sequin jacket from the concert.
Yeah, and some display, and it's like,
How would they get that? This psychotic fucking if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about the 2001 film Saving Silverman with
yeah,
Jason,
with Jason
Biggs, Steve Zahn, and
Jack
last but
Black.
not least, Jack Black.
Yeah, dude.
Kyle Gass also makes an appearance.
He does. Oh, and let's not forget the guy from Full Metal Jacket.
Arlie
the,
Ermy.
Yep.
Arlie
that guy.
Ermy, the drill sergeant, and real Marine, rest in peace, is the football
Rest in peace,
coach
yeah.
in that movie
Yeah.
that may or may not have killed a referee.
But definitely takes a shit
Allegedly.
in their front yard or something.
Yeah, he does. He's all, got any more TP? And he's smacking the newspaper.
I know.
I remember too much of that movie, dude. It was one I've seen that movie so many times, but probably not in like 7 years. But
Yeah.
that movie in high school, I watched so fucking much. I can't
Yeah,
believe I
dude.
still have the DVD, and that's what's great about DVDs. If it was a tape, it would have been ruined a long time ago.
Yeah. No, dude, such a fucking funny ass movie. Such great one-liners too. But bringing it back, no, dude. John Mayer, I don't think he doesn't have that brand. He doesn't have that brand as Taylor Swift.
No, he doesn't have the teenies. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it. Once
That's
you get
true.
the teenies, it's hard to lose them, and they might grow up. But then if your music stays kind of the same, which hers has,
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to always be that age group that likes you.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I feel like going back to Elvis, Kiss, Elvis is more, I think Elvis, but Kiss is really trying by pushing their brand and pushing everything they can do out there.
Oh, dude. I mean, that's actually a good comparison when you bring it up like that, actually. Now it kind of makes more sense because on a merchandising level, Elvis and Kiss are very similar because there is a fuck ton of merchandise for Kiss and for Elvis. I mean, same
Yeah.
type of shit. Elvis mugs, Elvis clocks, Kiss mugs,
The
Kiss.
telephones.
I have
yeah.
an Elvis bourbon porcelain thing that holds bourbon in it that I got from my grandma. I also have an Elvis
Mhm.
clock. I also have a Kiss lava lamp. So I pretty much can prove just in my little room, everything is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, those two acts, wow, not similar at all, but in that sense, very similar.
Yeah. Or
Very
I'm
business
seeing-
minded.
I got my Kiss pop collection up there. I got all four of those dudes, and I got Elvis right there also, and a little pop going. So yeah, I mean, anything that you can think of as far as like merchandise that you might need in your life, you can get either an Elvis or a
Kiss.
Kiss.
Yep.
Night in Satan's Service.
Yeah, I like it. I know that's not what it stands for, but I like it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I want to believe.
I want to believe, yeah. Like aliens. I
I
want to
want
believe
to.
that Satan's real. Dude, so
Yeah.
I'm looking up some designers, and I kind of showed you some stuff that we're looking into for some Tales from the Head merch. I'm excited, dude. There's a lot of interesting things coming up with this project and with us
Hell
in the
yeah,
next
dude.
few weeks. We got a pretty big announcement in the next couple weeks, and it's all movement, man. It's all good movement.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good. I'm glad I'm hustling on this, trying to get it all out, and I'm busy, but it's a great feeling because I'm super more on point when I'm doing stuff like this. I'm just like handling work better.
And what we have to say or acknowledge is the listener. I know it sounds fucking corny, like, oh, listeners like you, but definitely like we have to acknowledge the listeners who's been listening to us since like day one and supported projects. And, I know majority of them are friends, and then some of them have become friends over the years. So thank you all for like listening to us and like supporting and like spreading the words and relating to us, and maybe not relating to us at all, but definitely want to say thank you for support and stuff. We really truly appreciate it, especially when like for me anyways, I feel like it feels very dope like when we bring up a subject or a topic and people can relate to that one way or the other. I feel like that's very like valid in what we're doing and what the idea of this project is, which is, it's not to tell you how to live your life or anything. It's just like, hey, we're two dudes who, we went through some shit about 2 years ago. And I know I was just talking to one of my friends, like around this time is really hard for both of us because certain dates are associated with certain people and memories. So
yeah,
it's cool. Like, we just started this as like for us, like to share what we went through and how we dealt with it the right way and the wrong way. And it feels awesome knowing that people are like also going the same boat, because it just proves, I know it sounds corny and shit, but it proves that you're never alone. You're never alone. And, you shouldn't ever feel alone, regardless what it is that you're going through.
Yep. And to add on to what Danny said, it's 100% without our listenership, there is no show. It does sound corny, but hey, man, sometimes you just gotta be corny. And
you have to.
And the only thing I want to add, because that was so beautifully worded,
thank you.
The only thing I will add is, please, if you're enjoying the show, you follow the show, you want to support the show, please go on the avenue you're listening, be it Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and please give us a rating and review the show. It doesn't have to be 5 stars. I'd appreciate it. If you feel we deserve 4, go for it and let us know why. Honest reviews are always what we want. So it's, we want to do a 5-star show, but if it isn't 5, we got to know. And that's part of the feedback. Also, email us, tfthpod@gmail.com. You got any concerns? You're dealing with something? You want us to anonymously maybe bring up a subject on the show? Maybe some shout outs? Reach out to us, tfthpod@gmail.com. We got you.
And for the record, Coop and I, we were always like C and B students anyways in high school.
Yeah.
So we definitely used to 3 and 4 star ratings, but we don't like 2s and 1s. We went to continuation school to stop those.
I will say this, if we get 1 stars, we will be able to flip it in our favor because we could do our own Lone Star reviews.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I'm actually into that. If you can give us a really fucked up review, honest. It has to be honest.
Yeah,
you can call me names. You can break me down racially. It doesn't matter as long as it's honest. That's all I ask.
Yeah, 100%.
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I think we got all our updates out of the way. Let's move right back into the subject. So
yeah, let's do this, dude.
We're gonna jump right into most unusual phobias and fears.
Yeah, dude.
You want to take this first one?
Yeah, man. So
Go for
our
it.
first unusual fear when we were doing our fears section, this is tribophobia, and this is the fear of image of holes and or bumps.
Ugh.
Usually, like images of like honeycombs or like that kind of
spores.
stuff. Squirt, dude, that must suck. Remember? So you remember the movie Holes, right? With Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
They must have flipped out when they kind of like pan out and see all the different holes like all these kids have been digging over the years.
It is pretty gross, and I understand the. So I don't have a phobia of it, but I definitely have a what is the word? Unsettling feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like I remember, was an American Horror Story season 8 or 9 focused a lot on showcasing the trypophobia, which a lot of people were freaking out about because it was just there was moments in the show where they'd zoom in and it would just be like a tongue with hella eyes on it. Oh, it was disgusting. Yeah. It was just so gross. Or like you see a person's body and they got a bunch of holes.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's like it's not real. But it's like because it's like a glitch. I think I've looked this one up, and I think it's something to do with like incomplete, like the incompleteness of the object, or like just the like sheer alien look of it, because it just looks so like weird and obscure, and just kind of it's weird and oddly menacing.
Yeah, and you're right, dude. Like when they zoom in like the tongue or something and the tongue's all bumpy, it's just kind of like, ugh. It's just like, bro, come on.
Or like a fly's eyes.
Yeah, yas.
Gross. They spit all the time.
I get it. I get it.
I get it. You eat shit. I get it.
Yeah. Also, like, dude, imagine like you're dating a girl like that, and then like if you're like me, you have like you went through a lot of like body acne growing up.
Yeah.
Because I had no acne on my face. It all went straight to my back, unfortunately. Like imagine like you're about to do the deed. You take off the shirt, sexy time, and then they see your back and they start flipping out. Imagine like how bad would that be for your self-esteem?
I'm gonna ask you a really awkward question, Danny.
Yes.
Why were you ever in a position where she was looking at your back?
You know, what I do in my bedroom is none of your concern,
That's
sir.
That's true, but you set it up. I had to ask. I'm like,
it's
well,
concern, sir.
Danny's on defense tonight. No, I'm kidding.
Well, sometimes you gotta play both sides of the fields.
Like, I'm running back and strong safety. All right. What is this, high school? All right. You're doing both sides of the field and two positions. I like it, Danny. You're a hustler.
Hey man. You gotta know your craft. You gotta know all the ins and outs.
You gotta move that rock, son. So do you have any? What is your take on trypophobia? Do you have any like incidences where it was similar to being creepy or?
I don't. No, not really. I don't think like it, like it is unsettling or something. But I definitely do get it. Like I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock on it, but nah, not for me.
You're like, nah. That's some small dick shit, man.
Yeah. Nah, not for me. Not for me. Not this one.
I mean, you could kind of go through all these like trypophobia could also be the fear of menudo. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, hey, well, you know, I hate menudos.
You know what's cool? I mean, you're one of the few Mexicans that I have a record of Mexicans and their love for menudo, but I do feel it that most like it more than
Mexican
dislike
friends.
I have 7 Mexican friends. Like I have 2 more than you, just to prove my point.
That's
6
how
Mexican.
non-racist you are. Just the other day, I got 4 Mexicans in my house.
Oh wait, hold on, wait to sound more inclusive. Hold on, he's El Salvadorian. I only got 5 Mexican friends.
No, you're right.
Oh wow,
there's Pedro.
Nice drop there. Culture. There's Carl.
There's Diego. He's smiling also.
Diego.
So I guess that counts.
Diego. I just automatically assume it's bullshit because like I'm like Dora or Diego. I'm just like, yeah, would you pull that out of your Nickelodeon fucking Rolodex, you fucking loser?
You know what? I do know a Diego, actually, I must say. You do know Diego.
Yeah.
Oh no, you know what? I take it back because that's his last name.
Oh,
never mind.
Ooh, kind of like
You never
me.
mind.
Kind of like me, though. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
My
Let's
name's.
go.
I use my last name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pedophobia, the fear. Yeah, no. Well, so you're like, what is this? The fear of feet? What is this? No, it's
Yeah.
actually the fear of babies and children. And
I don't.
yeah, it's a tough one because it is not what you think it is right away, which is twins from The
Pedophile.
Shining
Yeah.
or The Omen or Scary Children. It's
Yeah.
not that. It's literally the concept of children, and I believe it's just the heightened anxiety of knowing you're responsible for something, like a life.
Okay.
I think that's more what it is. But
I
then
think so. That makes sense.
it could be physical too, though. It could be like, some people are weird. It's all about appearance. So maybe their phobia is the fact that it is a misproportioned adult person.
But you
I don't
know
know.
what though?
It's kind
I
of
mean,
silly.
I'm not knocking. I'm not hating if you go through this or anything. That's cool.
Right.
I apologize, or I shouldn't apologize. Like, okay, cool. I hear you. But just to try to make sense of it, it's like, okay, I I don't think I agree with that as the argument. You say like, oh, it's just misproportioned children. Because like,
Yeah.
dude, we all grew up. We all remember kindergarten. We all remember like being in middle school and then like growing to our man sizes later.
Yeah,
and
but you know, with phobias, how you view things and how they view things that's the difference.
yeah, that's
So
the difference, and that's the whole thing.
it's even like anorexia. It's not a phobia, but it's like those people actually view themselves as fat,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're not.
and I think,
but it's just like,
and
you know,
and with that, with an anorexia, Family Guy, I feel like, I'm sorry, not Family Guy,
like what turn is this taking?
American Dad.
There-
American Dad did a great episode on this, where like they show the perspective of Stan the dad, and he's like super skinny, and he keeps on going saying like how fat he is, or oh no, vice versa. He sees himself and he's not really like losing weight or anything.
Right.
He's just like he's gaining. He's like, oh, I'm so fat. I'm so fat. And then like they cut to the family's perspective, and this dude's like skin and bones.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a very interesting take and perspective of like the phobia, and how you just said like
yeah.
it's not really how we perceive it, it's how a person perceives themselves.
Right.
And I think that's the same thing also with the pedophobia. But I mean, I really thought that was interesting, and I kind of agree with you with the first one you said. Like maybe it's like for new parents, like that fear of like, fuck, I'm gonna be around kids now. I'm gonna be around kids. I'm gonna be responsible for this child, or even like holding a newborn. Because I remember like holding newborns, and I get like anxiety because I'm like, fuck, I don't. This human is so like, it's so fragile. Like one wrong thing, I might hurt it. So that might be like a fear also, like of just like hurting the child because they're so fragile.
And that's a common thing with fears, uncertainty.
Yeah, I mean that's when you don't have control over things.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Or you don't know the outcome or how to do it.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
And until there's like a perfect book on how to raise children, which there isn't, these people probably and even if there is, that doesn't mean they're not going to have a fear of children. So
because unfortunately, it's not like a one book fits all kind of situation.
No, and like, so I was looking it up because once again, I had no educational understanding of it too well. It red flagged a search for me, and I was wrong, but it red flagged a search for me, and I wanted to see, is there a correlation between pedophobia and pedophilia?
Okay.
Which a lot of people with pedophobia would be like, fuck you, it's not the same. But let me explain. I looked into it because I also feel like some pedophiles are just like out there to cause harm.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't seem so crazy to think someone who'd be so scared of something would be so villainous towards that thing, right?
And that makes sense. And that makes sense because no, go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, no, but I mean, I want to hear what you have to say too. But just to close it up real quick on that,
yeah.
You know, it's kind of it's definitely generalizing the phobia into just correlating it with that. But I just figured it was worth a search to see if there were examples. And you know, thankfully, either I'm going to say Google erased it all because they don't do that. But or you know, it's just not there. So it's good. I mean, but that's the thing. I think it is real. I don't think they're the same. So I don't think they're related, but I think, of course, they could be. But that's just as much as anything else in the world that could be related. So, but what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I have fear of dogs, and
Yeah.
it's not like, I see it and I start fucking panicking. They just make me uneasy. And then when like I start freaking my own self out or give myself anxiety, I kind of want to like turn around so I don't see him, or like I'm always like tempted just to break him, just in case if there was gonna be something evil. Now
Yeah.
you just fucked up. So I can kind of see that, dude.
Yeah.
Like I can, like, okay. Have you ever? Because we both share that and also listeners, I love to hear this from you. We both share that we're afraid of heights.
Yep.
They make us uneasy. Have you ever been to a place where like your anxiety of the height overpowers your rationale, and all you want to do is just get off? You just want to get off. You want to touch the floor, and sometimes you're even tempted just to jump, even though you might think that it's gonna hurt you. We just want to jump off, because I did that once. I was up on the roof and I started freaking out, and I just wanted to get the fuck out of the roof, to the point where like I was seriously like 5 seconds away from like jumping off the roof.
Jeez.
From a 1-story home, so it wasn't gonna be a lot. It was like gonna be 12 feet or something. But like I wanted to jump out of the roof because I just wanted to get the fuck away from the roof.
See,
and I was like,
yeah, that's way more irrational than me, because what I would do is way more embarrassing. But what I would do is I'd probably lay on the roof and just start crying, because what I did when I was in that weird like redwood exploring retreat thing where we 60-foot free fall, I think we talked about last week.
Yeah.
No, my intuition was not telling me to jump. My intuition was hold on to something and just don't look down, which sucks because you're stuck.
Yeah.
But
I think
yours is, even though it's
more of a
irrational,
panic.
yeah, you could say it's a panic irrational habit. I almost feel like as long as you're not like doing it to like end it, like, oh, I'd rather die than have this phobia, which I feel like is the feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like it is actually more of a controlled reaction than what I would have, because at least you're working towards a solution. I'm just crying and giving up.
Yeah.
But that's how I would feel. That's how I felt when I was, in a situation where, I mean, I wasn't completely screwed, so I don't know what would happen. I know I wouldn't jump because I was terrified of the edges, and when I did have to jump, which if that's how I felt would have been the easiest part, because then that's what you literally have to do. I was terrified. But it wasn't, it's funny though, even though I jumped, it's funny because it wasn't as scary as just being up and just kind of walking around and having to be up in the areas, because I knew, as dramatic as it sounds, I'm jumping off of this, it's going to end one of two ways. Realistically, 60 feet.
Yeah.
If something happens, I'm going to die. I'm pretty sure that's high enough to kill me.
If your pizza before your French fry, you're definitely going to have a bad time.
And the beans can't be above the frank.
No.
But in this case, my fly was closed, and I jumped off and the bungee pulled, so I was good. I was safe, and here I am today. Obviously, we know this wouldn't be around if I was dead, so I don't know why I made that point.
I would have posted something nice on Facebook and Twitter about you.
If I die, this is all I want from you, Danny. If I die, well, two things. I want a bass solo song.
Okay.
For my death, because I want to be that important to you. Also, I just want a candle, like one of those Jesus candles, but with my stupid corny face on it.
Okay.
And I just want a spot. Maybe on Tully. Give me
You even have the intersection where you want your candle.
Yeah, maybe like where Ritmo Latino used to be. Maybe like, what is that, Story?
Story and King? Damn, that's a throwback right there.
Throw me over there in a corner. I'll be all right.
Damn,
I'll
that's
guard
a
the
fucking
bum piss.
throwback there.
That's not there anymore, huh?
Nah, dude, it's like what is it now? I think they turned into a Western Dental.
Oh, fuck off with that corporate dental shit. That's not even a good dentist.
But I 100% started laughing or know exactly what freaking Ritmo Latino. I'm pretty sure our listeners know what Ritmo Latino is.
And if you don't, you probably just work for ICE. Actually, if they worked for ICE, they would know where
They
Remo
would
Latino
know.
was.
They would know exactly
That would have been
where
a
it
great
is.
place to get some bus.
What you got there, son? Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see that CD. What you got there? Alejandro Fernandez? Yeah. Come on, Fernandez.
I've heard that name before.
Get
Yeah.
in the bus or get in the van. Wow, that's
Or should I call you Alex?
Alec? Yeah.
They're just-
I have a couple.
Like he doesn't know his name's Alex.
Yeah.
Um.
Who's that? Selena? Selena? All right, you okay?
Oh,
All
okay,
right.
that's right. You say it's Selena. Well, let me tell you something. I seen Selena live. Yeah, I was there.
Corpus Christi, 1992.
Corpus Christi, yeah. The hometown show.
Yeah. 1992.
No big deal.
Okay.
Might have
Where
seen
were
her
you?
backstage. I wanted to stop her. I wanted to stop the girl from killing her, but I had to go to the bathroom. So
I was working security
I will
that night.
always hold that. It will always be something I carry with me.
Yeah. It's like the security guy who couldn't stop Dimebag's.
Wouldn't that be
killing.
funny, though, if she was explaining the reason why Selena died was because she was taking a shit, but then she went on to explain, but it was the cleanest, nicest shit I've ever taken in my life.
But I did not take that long in the bathroom. Just FYI, it was a quick 2-minute bathroom break.
She's all bitty, bitty, drop, drop. Okay, that's enough. And moving right along, actually, I think it's your turn.
Yeah, here we
I
are.
did pedophobia.
This one is Lutherophobia. And this is
Yeah, this one's a good one.
the irrational, uncontrollable fear of sea otters. Wow.
I didn't paraphrase that. I copy and pasted that definition for a reason. The irrational, uncontrollable. I loved that so much.
Yeah. How? Okay. So you and I, Coop, we're California boys, right? We're West Coast. We like to hang loose. So and then to even be more specific, we're Bay Area coastal boys.
Right.
You know, we grew up going to San Francisco, Monterey, Santa Cruz, all that shit. So for us, sea lions and sea otters, there's just like it's like nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they're like stray cats or stray dogs in the ocean. They just look more goofier.
Cuter.
Well, I don't know about the sea lions. They look like dicks.
Well, no, but sea otters are cute.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't think, and then every time I went to freaking any aquarium
Like
or any
Monterey?
fucking zoo, yeah, what's the first thing we like to go see? The sea otters, because they're just being goofballs, jumping up and down and doing tricks for you.
Yeah, and they're happy.
Yeah, they look chill.
I mean, even if they're
I
not
want that.
happy, they're pretending to be happy really well. And I think that's why they deserve the money, the most money out of all the animals there.
Absolutely, that's definitely money break. They're definitely the VIP.
Them and like sharks. Can't go wrong with sharks, right?
Yeah.
I always love
And
the
the sea
shark
turtles.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sea turtles are really cool. Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of that. I mean, Monterey Bay Aquarium is amazing. You know what one I want to check out? There's one in Oregon
Okay.
that is just, it looks so beautiful. I mean, it's got like a tunnel thing, but on the bottom of the tunnel, like there's pieces cut out and you can see the wildlife kind of just swimming by too.
Oh, that's so badass.
I saw a video and I don't think it's Portland because I don't think Portland's coastal.
No, there's a river. There's a river.
So Portland's not coastal.
No, it's not.
Okay, that's what I figured. So it's coastal Oregon, which I knew it wasn't Portland, but it's
maybe Astoria or something, or like
maybe. So maybe it's Goonies. Maybe they got Goonies stuff there.
Ooh.
No, Astoria is Washington, right?
No, Astoria is Oregon.
It is Oregon?
Yeah, it's just right in the yeah. Because Portland is right on the border of Washington and
yeah, because it's super north.
Yeah, and it's like I said, there's just a Columbian River that passes through there, which is a gorgeous fucking river, by the way.
Yeah, because that's where they got a bunch of bridges and.
Yes.
I know. I want to check that area out too. But yeah, dude, I heard they have a phenomenal aquarium.
Amazing. Oh hell yeah, dude! Add it to the list. Me and the partner, that's like our thing now. So like anytime we see like a cool zoo or like aquarium, we're like, all right, put it to the list, which we'll never go and get around to it. By the way, listeners, any cool aquariums or zoo or any sort of like wildlife animal sanctuary in your neighborhood, Send our way. We love. I know, Coop. You love doing that stuff with your family. I love doing that too with my partner. So
Yeah.
I'm down for a little trip. A little trip. See some aminals.
I recommend the Oakland Zoo. Anyone in the Bay Area? Oakland Zoo, definitely over SF.
Okay.
Um, maybe it's changed. Maybe it's gotten better over the couple of years, but I wasn't too impressed with the SF Zoo.
SF. I feel like it was too small.
Yeah.
I went there. I went there like maybe last time 4 years ago. I've been wanting to check out the Oakland one because I heard that's where they have like elephants.
Yeah, dude, they got elephants, lions.
And dude, Oakland is
more
so
open.
underrated.
Yeah.
Why is Oakland such an underrated city?
I'll tell you why. Because it
Just
has
the
a lot
crime.
of shit that overshadows it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's mostly how it's portrayed. It don't get me wrong. I work there. I'll be the first to tell you it's a shithole, but there are really beautiful parts to that shithole.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, Lake Merritt,
Amazing part.
all Piedmont area, pretty much.
Yeah. The Broadway Street, Broadway,
dude.
and then like you jump on the other
The
side
Grand
of 880.
Theater, that area
Yeah.
is super nice. You know, like
Yeah.
But yeah, like you just said, you get on like, and then you got the Oakland Hills. I mean, yeah, I know there's beautiful parts of Oakland, but it's just like East Oakland, the airport, and West Oakland. Forget it.
I mean, that's just any city.
That's true.
No.
But I will definitely. It is any city, but for some reason, I still avoid it more than most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that says something.
We know better.
Yeah.
We're local boys. We know better.
Well, if it isn't the culture that you're not a fan of just like craziness going on and people riding ATVs and shooting bullets, it's the road conditions.
Yeah.
Because Oakland is absolutely terrible. If you have low profile tires, just avoid the city at all costs.
Yeah.
Bombs go off on those streets all the fucking time. Not literally, but it looks like it. It's like, what happened here? Jesus.
Money.
But to double back to Lutrophobia, I wanted to kind of like, because it's like each of these things, it's like, okay, but like, what's the workaround? What's how do you deal with
what's
this?
the root problem or something?
Well, right. What's the cause and what's the workaround, right? And it's just like, I think we touched on this last week, but the irrational fear of something that's so avoidable. I mean, it's just,
yeah.
But when you have an irrational fear, so if this person sees them on TV or in a book, is that just as shitty as? What I'm saying is that ignorable?
Yeah.
And only if you see them in person are you freaking out? Because if you're only seeing them in person and freaking out, this is a pretty low budget, easy thing to deal with here. I mean,
yeah, just don't go aquariums.
Yeah, you just don't go to an expensive. First of all, I love aquariums, but they're fucking expensive. So,
dude,
dude, you don't like aquariums? Good for your pocket, dude. Go eat some clam chowder.
Keep it that way.
But yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, yeah, there's workarounds. Go live in fucking Arizona. There's no otters there.
It's funny. It's funny you say if you're afraid of aquariums, like it. And what sucks is like, yeah, they're great for the pocket, but if you like aquariums like you and I do, they're hurting. I like to go to Monterey Bay Aquarium at least once a year, maybe once every other year.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. They're still there. The same exhibits are still there, but you still go. And I'm like, fuck, why did I pay, $50 or $60 per ticket plus parking and all this shit? But once you're there, it's magical, baby.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's, you gotta help your community out with all that, but I mean, well, who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens next coming months.
So
this one was funny. The next one we're moving on to, well, actually, to go back to it real quick, I did not find a reason for Lutra or for pedophobia causes. The only thing I really found for pedophobia causes was they said abnormal brain development, but that is so vague and weird. It's mostly cause and effect with a lot of these phobias. So
yeah,
this person who had a pedophobia fear of kids could have maybe witnessed a kid get hurt, maybe witnessed a kid drown. There's all sorts of reasons that this person's terrified of children.
Yeah.
Lutrophobia, I mean, that's a little harder to put together because you're like, what did you watch a fucking otter put a bomb on its chest and walk into an aquarium? Like, what terrible thing did you witness from a fucking cute little sea creature? Like it's hard to figure out. It's hard to rationalize, but it's irrational. So we're not supposed to be able to rationalize these.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's fucking hilarious.
Poopophobia, not the fear of number 2, but the fear of puppets.
Yeah, dude. How do you feel about that? And okay, I guess before that, let me go and explain my rationale.
Yeah, because you kind of have more of the.
And I kind of get it, because like so I'm afraid of dolls. You know, it's not like I'm gonna freaking start running when I see a doll or something. It's just they make me unsettled. So I can see this, because it's like, you know, you saw movies like Saw, you saw movies like Dead Silent, like all these like what's those Tranquilitas or whatever.
But that's when we were older. What about fucking
what like about the Muppets and shit? And
what about fucking Puppet Master? Puppet Master.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, this shit's old, man.
You know what though? So my rational thinking. Again, you know, you grew up seeing like Sesame Street. You saw Puppet Masters and shit like that, and it's kind of like, how the fuck is this doll moving? Because you know it's fake.
Yeah.
And in a way, the whole art it is based on fear, because you're moving this, you're tricking the audience that this thing is talking. You know it's not real. You know it's not alive. So I guess it's that fear of like, how the hell, you know, like this thing's possessed, or how's this little person or little thing like moving, you know? Because I can definitely see that with like, you know, yeah, I can just definitely see it in that sort of way. Like,
yeah, but you know,
like not knowing,
but you know how they're puppeting it.
I think as we're old.
No, okay, so you're saying when you're a kid.
Yeah, when you're a kid.
Okay, because I was like, Danny, come on.
Because I feel like those fears start when you're a kid. So I can definitely see it like when you're a kid, you saw one and messed you up, and it kind of just be like, oh, you know, do like a little creepy like turn. They look at you and like, what's your name? Like,
100%. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like I think that's just like traumatized you. Like, how the fuck did this doll change to a point where like now anytime you see a puppet or like a doll or something with an open mouth, you think this thing's gonna come alive and fucking attack you.
I mean, this one is understandable.
They are creepy
for a couple of reasons. First is like the soulless eyes, which is also a doll thing. You know that scene in Jaws where they're talking about the horror of sharks and how their eyes are so black and you can't see anything in them. And
yeah.
Just the most terrifying thing because they're just black. And it's like, yeah, it kind of goes with puppets. They got those dead eyes that you're just kind of, for me, my rationale with the scariness of puppets is that they're idle. And they're just only a matter of a second until they're going to pop back up and do something.
Yeah.
Or the other scary thing is they only move when you're not looking at them. So then you're constantly in fear.
Yeah.
Do you watch Doctor Who at all? I don't really watch it.
I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes of it. I'm not even gonna front.
Right. But I don't remember what season, and some Whoville person or whatever they're called can correct me, but they there's I think they're called angels, and they're these stone statue angels, like kind of like not gargoyles, but they're like statuesque angels. And the only time they move is when your eyes are closed or you're not looking at them. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking at them, they don't move. But the minute you turn away and you look back, they're maybe 5 feet away from you. The next time you look back, they're right in your face. I'm like, that was one of the most terrifying episodes and ideas that I witnessed that I feel like would definitely play into the poopophobia, which it might be pupe or pupophobia, but I'm gonna tell you right now, English people, if it's pupophobia, you got to put 2 P's in there. All right,
please.
Okay? We're rolling here. Okay, this is a real thing, and we appreciate. No, I'm kidding. All right, but yeah, no. So I mean, like, so with puppets and dolls, would you say the scariest puppet is a ventriloquist puppet, or like maybe? Yeah. I guess it's more of a doll. I guess a puppet would be more like you said, a Muppet, or maybe a marionette or something.
Yeah. See, for me, like, if it's like fucking Cookie Monster and shit, like, no, like, okay, it's whatever. Right. You know, it's no biggie. Or like I know back in the days used to have like the string puppets and used to do like shows. You because I feel like well, even that's kind of creepy actually. Now I
Yeah.
think about it.
It's cool. It never creeped me out, but I understand why people think it's creepy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I agree with that one. I like that. But like when they look like full on people, when they had, I don't know. That's like I don't know. Whenever I think of that, like a puppet, I think of like remember the Goosebumps show? They did like an episode with like tranquillitis and
Oh yeah, Night of
very
the.
similar. And then there was like a movie. I think it was called Dead
Yeah,
Silence or something like
you're
that.
talking about Night of the Living Dummy on Goosebumps.
Yes, yes.
His
Night of
name
the Living Dummy.
his name is
Yes,
Slappy.
classic.
He was also in both Goosebumps films.
I mean, because it's just a classic ass.
Oh, dude, it's scary, but that is one of the scariest books and scariest episodes of the show.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and maybe like the Mask one.
Yep, I agree,
Yeah,
dude. But that's what I mean. It's like it's not gory, it's not jump scare completely. It's just eerie and like
yeah,
it just gives you a bad feeling.
yeah.
And
And I think that's like for me, that's even more scarier. Like the uneasiness
Yeah.
of it. That's what makes me.
Also, dolls have always been a thing of like representation, right? It's always like an idol that represents spirits or something. It's a representation of something. And that always kind of spooked me too, because I feel like representations always could have the possibility to take on a possession, if you will. Like it's not real, but it's like I understand how you could be like, well, how do I know that fucking thing's not possessed like Chucky or,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I get it. Dead Silence is a good example. I kind of walked over when you brought that up. But that movie, I did see that movie. The ending was fucking scary.
Yeah.
When you find out she hollowed out the old man and used him like a fucking puppet.
The puppet, yeah.
When he was eating, all the food was going down his back. Oh.
You know which movie kind of also freaked me out like that was the Boy. Where like some like they hire some girl to take care of like their kid for like a week or something.
Yeah.
And as far as and the girl's like, this is stupid because all it looks like is like it's like a doll of a boy or something. And then she thinks like the doll is actually like alive and does this thing, but just know that there's actually a real actual kid, a person living in the walls.
Oh wait.
Situation. Is it called The Boy? Hold on, let me see.
Is this the one where the mom has a doll?
Yeah, that one.
And she's like, she went through a miscarriage or something, and she's using the doll to like help her as therapy.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be like a very like I read about it and I didn't watch it. It looked creepy as all hell.
Yeah, it came out in 2016. Foreigner from Montana travels to the UK. Being hired as a nanny by elderly Holster. Yeah, it's pretty much like a life-size porcelain doll named Brahms, who she treats like a kid. Yeah, that's pretty much.
But I know that the theme of the movie basically is she develops a mom and son, or mom and child type love relationship with this doll, to the point where she loves it more than anything else.
Yeah. So, no, that might be a different one.
Maybe I am thinking of a different one because I read recently about one where something traumatic happened and the mom gets this like doll. And I think the horror of the movie is not more along the lines of supernatural. It's more along the lines of a psychosis with PTSD.
Yeah.
And the crazy psychotic fear that your brain goes through with such a huge loss. But either way, it's similar. It's scary. The scary aspect of both ideas or films or stories is that this odd, creepy looking doll is, But that's the thing that's weird is it's like it's a representation of life, and that's exactly what I was saying is like it's an idol, representing. It's imitating or representing something.
Yeah.
And even in that case of what we were saying, like it was imitating grief, or it was imitating a life that she didn't have anymore. So there's a lot of power in dolls and all that shit. Like we put a lot of energy into that stuff. Whether you believe in energy and all that,
that's on you.
It's whatever. But There's a lot of weird energy that goes into dolls, and I think that's why a lot of people are creepy. A lot of religious, old school Catholics are, oddly enough,
yeah.
creeped out by it, but love angels, cherubs, and all the little porcelain tchotchke shit that is
I hate
equally
it,
as
dude.
scary. So I don't understand it.
Yeah. No, I personally hate it myself, but they seem to be attracted, even though I feel like that's the shit. That's the first shit gets haunted or possessed by a demon.
Oh, the cute shit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking into doing. It's somewhat sidebar. I'm looking into designing the logo for the new announcement we got working on right now. And I was like, kept thinking of ideas like, okay, what do I want the logo to be? And I kind of finally came up with something. I'm like, okay, I like the gargoyle theme.
Yeah.
Because it's I want something that looks mean and badass and cool, but at the same time, the image and representation of a gargoyle is the lame representation of a gargoyle is they were invented to spout water off the roof and away from the walls on buildings.
Mhm.
So they artistically designed them to be these creatures that project the water off the building and not just have it drip down.
Yeah.
Basically gutters before gutters. But then they also kind of took on a lore, which some people believe, which is they kind of are the bad juju guardians warding off the bad evil energy and evil spirits.
Right.
That's kind of more along the lines of people that are like really Catholic, believe in angels and all that stuff. It's totally lore, but I dig it. So I was like, okay, cool. I like the idea of the representation of it being like a guardian that it's evil and menacing, but it protects you from evil.
Yeah.
So I'm like, something along those lines, but I brought it up because it's kind of goes, it's not poopophobia, but it's like an idol, right? That
And it's
takes
like
on
those
a
things that-
representation.
Yeah, it's like the thing that might come alive.
And that too, I mean,
Yeah.
the gargoyle cartoon show that we were like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they're, but yeah, that's the thing too. It's like it kind of goes with the dolls and the poopophobia because you're like, all right, is this thing gonna, come out? I mean, Ghostbusters kind of, right? I think Ghostbusters kind of gave me that little fear when you saw those stone dogs come off the building, and those things were terrifying.
With the gatekeeper and the
keymaster.
Yeah. Are you the gatekeeper?
Who invited the pooch?
Yeah.
Fucking Rick Moranis. God bless you.
A great guy.
Too bad he got his ass kicked in New York. I didn't look into it, but I heard that was real.
Really?
Yeah, I think it happened like 6 months ago, so I'm not even into it, but it made me laugh because I was thinking about, I was being empathetic, not towards Rick Moranis, but towards the guy who assaulted him. Yeah. I wanted to try and understand what took you to that level.
What did he do?
Yeah. He's like, look, dude, he's a Little Shop of Horrors is one of my favorite fucking movies. Who the fuck is feeding,
Yeah.
Fuck you, Seymour. You're not feeding anybody. And then he punched him right in the face. Or he was mad that he shrunk the kids again. That was a terrible joke.
Or blew up the kid, or...
See, that I should have went with that. That's funnier. I should have said, probably because he blew up a kid. And then, see, that would have been way funnier. Boo.
You know what happened is that he had money on that Little Giants versus Cowboys game. And
Ed O'Neill.
And the Little Giants was the underdog, and then Icebox came out here and just fucking like destroyed it.
I mean, Ed O'Neill, the reason he was so villainous in that movie, it was the gum chewing. It's very Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
It was very Pete Carroll. Fuck Pete Carroll.
I just realized also that one guy comes out from Idle Hands.
Devin Sawa?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the young kids.
Yeah, he's one of the young, I think he's like the quarterback or something from the Little Giants.
Blonde white kid. Typical.
God damn it.
Always the quarterback.
All over the place in the 90s.
See, blonde kids, that's the thing. See, like, there is hierarchy in the white community, okay? I know a lot of people are like, you guys are all the same. Kinda. But there are differences. I don't know what it is. Blondes just get some kind of special treatment, even when they're dudes. So I don't know. Keep doing it.
Look at you, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah,
looking at you.
Fuck you, Sunshine Remember the
Titans. Yeah.
And Pretty Boy, No, I'm kidding.
California
yes,
boy
I'm jealous.
yoga.
God, I wish I had hair like that.
God damn it.
Not the blonde, but just the luscious locks.
Just lush. And all the girls like, oh my God, he's so dreamy.
I know, dude. And in high school, only the creepy girls liked me. Like one girl who worshipped Adolf Hitler, who was Japanese. Yeah, I said that right. Um,
Wow.
uh, I think she fantasized about being Ava Braun. I'm like, hopefully, before the suicide. Anyway, she she used to sit behind me in history class and touch my, because at that time I did have long hair,
Yeah.
and she would like pet my hair. You know how girls comb each other's hair?
Yeah.
So like it felt nice, and I didn't say anything, but in my head it was like, why can't
This
the
ain't
girl with
right.
nice like knockers be doing this to me right now?
Yeah.
Why can't the hot Mexican chick be doing this? Why do I get the Asian girl that's got like M16s in her locker? Like this is not fair. This is not fair.
Hey, but
I'm safe. What were you gonna say?
well, you either can be first or saved.
Oh, you're right, because it's a love interest. Because then she could be like,
Yeah.
no, she would kill me last. Because what would happen was she would kill everyone else, and then she'd turn to me and be like, I did this all for you. And
Yeah.
then I'd look scared, and then she'd be like,
You
I
don't
can't-
like it?
I can't trust you. You're just like all them. And then she kills me.
Yeah.
So
You're
luckily,
fucked.
none of that happened. It would have made a really good Lifetime movie.
Yes, I will pay for that.
I mean,
I'd be
think of
like,
it. The
"Hey, that's my boy."
antagonist is an Asian Hitler enthusiast.
And I'll be like, hey, that's my boy right there. That's my boy.
I'm going to write the movie, and I'm going to put it out during AAPI month. No, I'm kidding.
Sold.
Oh, man, what a fucking weird twist that was. But hey, we're
Wow.
right back
Yeah,
into
this-
most abstract or unusual phobias. And we just went through poopophobia.
Yeah, this is okay.
Just do it
Is
how
it
you want to
boogie?
say it.
Bogeyphobia.
There you go. I think that's spot on.
And this is the fear of the boogeyman. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Again,
everything.
this has to come from like childhood. Like, you know, your parents fucked you up, and not like physical, but like mentally. They might have scared the shit out of you with like the stories of the boogeyman and don't look under your
Under
you
the
know
bed.
bed or in the closet. So I can see that. And I can see this kind of like being popular because I feel like a lot of kids have this fear when they're like growing up. But once they're like adult and once they have like rational thinking, I feel like this fear kind of goes away.
I think so, too. And this one wasn't so crazy to me. I think I threw
Yeah.
it on here because it was more common than
Yeah.
unusual. This was more or less parents wanting their kids to go to sleep, which is hilarious because the last thing you want to tell your kids is, hey, there's something that's going to kill you if you don't close your eyes. Not that parents were saying that, but I don't know. They bathed once a month back in the day. And they used to use boric acid for birth control. So who knows really what they did at nighttime, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, those grim fairy tales are fucking terrifying, but those weren't meant for children.
No, they were meant for like enthusiasts or like horror enthusiasts. There you go. That's the word. It's that word. I don't know. I'm making a word now.
So I kind of wrote down, I'm like, oh yeah. First thing that popped in my head was Michael Myers, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jason. I mean, think about it. The boogeyman is pretty much those three. You can do either Freddy, Jason, or Michael Myers. Very mysterious, supernatural.
Only come out at night. Well, no, because Michael Myers was like stalking people during the day.
Yeah, he was.
But
it
it's
was
one of those like, yeah, mysterious, really like, did I just kind of see something and or like not really sure if like you're seeing somebody around? But yeah, I feel like those three, Jason, Michael Myers, and Freddy. Because whenever I see like the boogeyman, also, I'm not gonna lie, I think of the boogie oogie from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah. The big fat dude, right?
Yep.
I also think of Candyman.
Yeah.
Any kind of weird cursed situation is also kind of boogie,
Yeah.
you know? Especially since I rewatched the original.
Mm-hmm. This is a great one.
Oh, good movie. But Tony Todd is a really good actor. But it was interesting because a lot of kids, a lot of good kid actors in that movie, but they were really good about selling the children, much similar to Nightmare on Elm Street. The fear aspect is what gives this entity its power. So it's interesting. I enjoyed that a lot. But yeah, it's definitely a very relatable fear. Also, this next one's kind of pretty relatable. I knew what it was. I just didn't know the name. Of course, like these all scientific names.
Yeah, of course.
Spectrophobia, which first thing that popped in my head was a specter, which I thought was like a figure, like a ghost. So at first thing I thought was like, oh, it's a fear of ghosts. No, spectrophobia is the fear of mirrors.
Okay.
And you think, okay, that's frightening. And,
but like,
and I think of my fear of mirrors, and it is not what spectrophobia is. Most people's fear. What were you going to say?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say it kind of plays in line with Bloody Mary, Candyman, or just looking and something pops up like from a horror movie. That's not what spectrophobia is, though. People that suffer from spectrophobia, they're mostly frightened of their own reflection. So,
and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing here that you wrote down is usually common in children. And I can see that because, again, little kids or something, they don't know what the heck they're seeing. They're like, hey, this person's like
staring right at me. Yeah.
Like, because I'm thinking about like when I'm holding my niece and I put her in front of a mirror. Right. She kind of looks at the mirror, then she looks at me. And they're like saying like, how come there's two different people? And then they realize, well, if that's my uncle and that's my uncle, that must be me. And it's kind of like,
who's that person?
Not knowing how you look, like that first shock of how you look is kind of like, oh shit, who the hell's that? You know, so I can see like it's again kind of similar with the boogie phobia, where I think you grow out of it as you become more, because there's no way you can avoid reflections of yourself.
No, there isn't. And I think like self-image, our self-image and our self-esteem are two things that we all fight with. Yeah. With or without phobias. So this one also not so outlandish. If you say I have a fear of mirrors, people are going to think, okay, that's kind of weird. But explaining the rationale right behind it, it's not so outlandish.
No, it's not so like, I wouldn't say so weird. And I can definitely see why is this like a very popular or common unusual phobia, because again, you're a kid, once, of course kids are like the uncertainty. And then like, if you're a parent, or your child, you're going to ask your parent, like, what is this? How's it work? Oh, it's a mirror. There's a mirror. You can, as a parent, I don't think you know how to explain things also.
The thing about mirrors too, man, is they're revealing. And I think a lot of people are scared of that. There's a lot of truth in a mirror, I mean, women do their makeup. People get ready in the morning. You rely on this for your own self-image and you could argue self-worth for some people. But it's just, it's one of those creepy ones where it's not vanity per se all the time. It's like I'm just wondering, like what unique experience did you have? Yeah. This to me seems more like a genetic defect than a bad experience because, I mean, what were you like beat in front of a mirror? Then I get that. But I mean, it's just like more likely than not, you're there's something telling you there's something wrong here that should have been already corrected, but your mind hasn't corrected it yet. Like you were saying, as you get older, you're able to rationalize and say, that's not true. This is why it's this way. But some people, along with some of these phobias, that never happens. So even though they're 36, 38 years old, they still have a fear like they're 12, and they can't explain it to themselves. I think that's the main issue. If you can't explain a fear to yourself, then you can't move past it. Yeah.
Or you can't control it.
Yeah. Or control it and then eventually, hopefully, move past it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think I'm ever going to get over my fear of heights, but I can definitely control it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's a manageable fear. But, exactly. Like, Maybe if you jumped out of a plane every day for like 6 weeks, you could get over it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's tough. Like, who fucking has that money?
Recreate the scenes from fucking
Point Break.
From Point Break. Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll jump out of the plane, but I'm not doing it without a parachute, but I will bring a rubber gun with me.
And not only that, but I'm also gonna like high five y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, dude. Just I love how stupid that movie is. It's so good.
So freaking bro.
It is. But you know what? Some things need to be.
Hey,
it needs to represent its time. You know.
Listen, Point Break walked so we can run.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they walked on water.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Here we are talking about it 30 years later, so they must have done something right.
Yeah. Keanu's still looking great. Swayze, not so much, but
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Or wherever, yeah.
Anthony Kiedis is still looking great.
God, why couldn't you have just taken him? No, I'm kidding.
What?
That's
Can
so
we talk
mean.
about
That's
Anthony
terrible.
Kiedis sometime in the near future? How this guy's like 100 years old and he's still fucking ripped as fuck.
Heroin.
Still looks great. Okay, I figured.
That was a quick ending.
But look at Keith Richards.
Heroin. Same thing. he's got a 6-pack. He's like 70 something. Heroin. Steven Tyler. Heroin.
But they look horrible.
They look horrible.
Like,
but that's not what you were talking about. They look horrible in the face. Well, Anthony Kiedis is only like 50 something. Give him 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
But
fair
like
enough.
he probably uses a lot of Aveeno. I can't explain to you, Danny. What I think that I've never really seen a fat heroin addict, except for Axl Rose when he let himself go.
Oh, or Artie from
Artie Lang.
Artie Lang.
Was he H? I think he did H, but he was more of a coke guy, wasn't he?
I think so.
But either way, he probably did H too.
Yeah, a little 8-ball action, a little 8-ball here and there never hurt
nobody. I was listening to a few. I was listening to a podcast, and he was talking about the money he would get from Stern or Mad TV, because he started with Mad TV and then went to Stern.
Yeah.
Just he was making $30K a week, and this was in the 90s.
Yeah.
So he was just blowing it on hookers and coke.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, he clearly did not have a coca-phobia. Moving quite along. Let's try that one more time. Moving right along.
Let's go ahead.
You want to tackle this gargantuan son of a bitch of a name, Danny?
Here we go. Give it to the ESL kid. Okay, here we go.
No handicaps here. You got this.
Agoraphobia.
Hey, you know what? I don't know it well enough to correct you, and it looks damn good to me. So I say that is exactly. I'm not close enough. You were spot on.
Thank you.
That was a kill shot.
And athasagorophobia is the fear or forgetting of being forgotten. It's the fear of forgetting or being forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see this. Like fear of like being pushed away or like being alone in a way, no? I can see this. It's most commonly with elderly dementia patients. Like, you're gonna forget everybody eventually, and you fear that they're gonna forget you.
Yeah.
I can see this also like from childhood. Like, imagine like getting lost, or like for like your parents. Like, imagine. I'm pretty sure freaking Kevin McAllister has this.
Yeah. Except he was forgotten
twice. No, once, and the second time the dumbass decided to take a freaking follow the wrong person with the same coat.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I will definitely make the argument it was the first one.
Yeah,
because
the
obviously
second one, you're a dumbass, dude.
Yeah, and plus he's a little older, so I think now he's like, all right, being home alone, I got this.
Yeah,
he cried a few times, but he knew there's a pigeon lady at the park that lives in the opera house. He knew he'd be fine.
It wasn't his first rodeo.
It was funny, though, is he went through more hell in the second one because all he was really scared of in the first one was his neighbor.
Yeah.
Who ended up saving his ass.
Yeah, who's a sweetheart.
By the way, sweetheart didn't have a good relationship with his kids, except for the end of the movie. But be honest with me, Danny. How many times do you think that old man said the N-word when no one was listening?
Oh, he probably blamed his whole fortunes on the N word.
Oh, you know what I love about us sometimes is I stick up for so much social justice warrior shit, and I love freedom of speech, but sometimes
and I'm there too.
sometimes I just gotta bring it up. I gotta paint these pictures of ignorance, and it's beautiful, man. Nothing like taking the sweet old man from Home Alone and just turning him into a racist bigot.
Dude, let's be real. Mr. McAllister, you know that dude was racist.
Oh, the dad?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he was a money guy for sure. He probably said the N-word every 30 seconds.
100% racist. I'm pretty sure he had a fucking BMW too.
He probably said the N-word when he spilled coffee. He was one of those guys.
Yeah. Oh, dude, who else? You know which movie I recently saw again? Beethoven.
Oh, yeah. You know, I haven't watched that movie since I was a kid. The main guy always creeped me. Charles Grodin. I like him, but he always gives me a weird vibe. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, this looks more like a guy who'll be a villain.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
Dad. But again, you know who dropped the N-word?
Yeah, he looks like one of those guys.
That whole neighborhood. Any father from the early 90s?
You're saying not necessarily. You're saying his character.
Yeah.
In the movie?
Yeah. And I don't know the man personally.
I don't know him either.
But like any early 90s dad from like, except for maybe Danny Tanner. I don't think he dropped the N-word. Because he's from San Francisco. So I think he was more like exposed to diversity.
How many black people were on Full House?
Fuck.
I think we just solved that. I think we just figured it out. Danny Tanner, not only is he high up, but I think he's at least a level of wizard that we don't even understand. Because he's so good at disguising his hate that you think all he cares about is his 2 kids or 3 kids. His shitty brother-in-law and I think his buddy. Dude. Yeah, because wasn't Uncle Jesse was his brother-in-law, right? And Uncle Danny was his friend who was a comedian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, now that we got the genealogy of Full House figured out, let's go back to the ignorance that is Danny. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's fun to pretend. Isn't it just fun to make ignorant comments and that I have no proof to back it up. I have no reason to say what I'm saying, but isn't it just fun?
It's funny because I'm always like, because I teach ethnic studies. I'm like, you should never, prejudice and biases and all that stuff like that. Don't, judge a person based on the characters, not based on his look.
True.
And here I am like, Danny Tanner, his character was amazing.
Here's the thing.
Sure, but here we are like, nah, that dude was a fucking racist.
They're fictional.
Yeah.
So we could be right because all it takes is someone to write it to be true.
Yeah.
Let's make Full House fan fiction. Let's figure out a way to really turn this into something. I think we got a really cool parody idea coming along.
The dad from the Wonder Years? 100%.
I'm going to tell you right now, Winnie Cooper, she was the mastermind.
Yeah. Okay.
She looked innocent. What were you going to say?
No. I was going to say the only early 90s dad from TV or movies who I don't feel was a racist and wasn't dropping the N-word. Different. Okay. And remember, we're talking about different, what's the word I'm looking for? Parallel universe. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be the dad from Boy Meets World. I feel like he was more accepting. I feel like I saw some color folks in that. But it's crazy because he definitely plays a freaking racist dropping the N-word in American History X.
Oh, I forgot about that gem.
Yeah.
So it's like he had a hard day of bagging groceries at the supermarket.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, I'm going to go get a towel before I go home and deal with my annoying ass Philadelphia children.
Mm-hmm.
And, just take the edge off.
Yeah.
But someone just had to cut him off.
I've seen this. We've seen it a million times for different movies.
Who's wrong? Who's right? I don't know. But what I could tell you is we all have breaking points. I'm just kidding.
God.
No, yeah.
It goes back to Point Break.
No. But to go back to the phobia that we're talking about, which is the fear of forgetting or being forgotten.
Oh
God,
God, how the hell did we get?
I enjoyed the
How
fuck out of that tangent.
how the fuck did we
I
get
don't
to
know.
racist fictional dads dropping N words?
I
I'm
don't
looking at
know.
you, Kevin McAllister.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, we just got ourselves a nice little 5 minute short that I'm gonna post, baby.
Oh, you know what
Yes.
it was? Okay, it was because Kevin McAllister, his dad was racist. Yeah, let's
Oh, the
go
old
ahead and call him
man.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the old man. Yeah, the old man was
It was
racist.
the
There
old
you
man
go.
who started it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So we got this. It's look,
Oh,
this is
God.
entertainment. This isn't all educational. People are here for a reason, man. And they like us. That's why they're here.
Absolutely.
We got to give them what they like, which is us together. But you elaborated on the scientific fear of like it being early dementia and how it could be from a child being abandoned from previous life experience.
Yeah, of course.
I always like to give a little empathy on these, like put myself right, give it some understanding. This probably is one of the most understanding fears because it goes right along with the most common fear in the world, which is, no, I'm sorry, the second most common fear in the world, thanatophobia, which is the fear of death.
Oh, absolutely.
This 100% plays in hand with the fear of death because part of getting old is understanding your mortality and dealing with the fact that, days are numbered. Not to sound sad, but you're dying. Everyone's dying, and you're getting older.
Yeah.
And you're always contemplating your unfinished business, your relationships that you didn't quite fix, or just anything that might be something that I don't know was going to give you rest or ease. And I think like that plays a big part of it too. And maybe I'm just generalizing it to make it more understandable, but I think I relate to the fear of being forgotten. I don't have a fear of forgetting, and that's probably just because at this point in my life and ever since I can remember, I have a really good memory, which means I'll probably for sure that'll be the first thing to go.
That's
But right now I'm not too worried about that. I'm just worried about the other thing, which is people, like either forgetting about you because you're not relevant anymore or just because you're not making yourself relevant enough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my fear with that fear. But yeah, I mean, I feel like no one wants to be alone.
No one. That's the whole like why we seek companionship and stuff. I mean, there's people who prefer being alone, absolutely, but I don't feel like nobody wants to be alone.
No.
On their own.
No, I mean, unless you got some kind of crazy social condition, you probably most likely would love some type of human interaction, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it cures the soul, man. And like we've kind of been going over, like what is the treatment or what even can be used to help with these situations, and it's tough because not a whole hell of a lot. The most common thing and effective thing I found through my research that I was looking through these phobias was a thing called exposure therapy. Now it's pretty in depth, like any other kind of therapy. It's long, it's slow and long. I mean, some of these I looked it up on an average. Some of these, on average, exposure therapy could take up to 10 years.
Yeah.
So as little as or as more as. So yeah, dude, it's like you said, Danny, we're never fixed. But what this exposure therapy is doing is managing your rationale, because the whole point of phobias is the irrational part of it.
Right.
It controls, it goes over logic, it takes over everything, and it tells you this is survival, you need to stop doing this or you're going to die. So it is a glitch in our brains, but it is a survival glitch. But exposure therapy seems the best way. It's also the most holistic. So, you're not relying on medication or some sort of experimental Eastern medicine, weird drug that rich people buy.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you're taking control of your own life, if you will, or your own,
destiny.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I mean, you are taking control of your life. That's the point is you need that control. And if you're relying on medication, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some medication we need.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love Tylenol. Sometimes I got a little headache, little Tylenol.
A little Tylenol
You know what
will
else is
help that
great?
up.
Claritin.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes allergies, you just got to take a pill, non-drowsy, feel great. But we shouldn't always be looking for a miracle pill,
yeah.
you know?
Oh, like a one fix all kind of thing.
No. Like because you're not dealing with problems, you're not dealing with reality. You want a fucking limitless pill and you want to be Bradley Cooper. Doesn't work,
Yeah.
didn't work out for him, and you got to just be you're an individual. So you got to be accountable for what you're dealing with and you need to deal with it. And the only way to deal with it is to not necessarily attack it head on, but to confront it. And it doesn't need to be a war right out the gates. You know, you gotta move your pieces in the right places. This is why it takes 10 years. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not an invasion. It's not a
It's
hostile takeover. It's something that you got to implement over time to not only become a pattern for yourself, but to teach yourself how to interpret these feelings or overall just how your approach and your outlook on things.
and I mean, at the end of the day, like it's not a race. Like anything that's worth like doing it, it has to take like time. So like don't expect like, oh, I did 1 day of treatment or whatever and I should be fine already. I'm like, no, it takes a while.
Yeah, it
Everything
actually
takes a while.
you shouldn't even put a limit on it, to be honest.
Like a time frame, because then
Yeah.
that just makes, if you don't feel like you're better by that time frame you put yourself, it's just going to create more chaotic, outcomes or whatever you want to.
And it's
Or
stupid.
say it.
And it's stupid because you're basically saying I'm only working at this until then and then I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know where you're going to be. You got to like monitor that, manage it. It's an everyday thing. I mean, we all know this. We could go to sleep in the best of moods. And sometimes we don't even have an explanation as to why we feel like shit when we wake up, but we do, and it affects the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Something as impressionable as just a feeling so early in the morning that really had no justification ruined your whole day. I mean, that's not abnormal. So, it's just, once again, it's like we need to take control of our minds, take control of our bodies, be responsible, be healthy. I mean, we talked about this multiple
100%.
times. Diet is like so much of our well-being and our happiness. And if you are going to go down the medication route, which there's nothing wrong with, just consult a professional and a physician, like someone who knows what you're doing. Don't just Google or WebMD everything. WebMD, everything gives you cancer. So go to talk to an actual physician. There's nothing wrong with looking things up, but talk to a professional before you start clouding your head with a bunch of fear and
Exactly.
uncertainty, which is already what we're talking about. But yeah, I also another thing, we got more holistic. There are herbal remedies, like they're not quite as noticeably effective, but I think for daily management, similar to like a vitamin, I think it's good. But you have to put your expectation out there. Taking a ginkgo biloba isn't gonna fucking make you feel like Superman. I don't really even know what ginkgo does. I have a ginkgo plant in my yard, and I don't even know what it does. But anyway, there are herbal remedies as well. It's always good to try and explore like yourself and how to fix it, as naturally as possible.
And here's one thing I was just talking to as far as the herbal remedy things. Something that kind of, I'm not sure if I exposed or have said this before in this podcast, but definitely had a conversation about it. Like, there's so much value when it comes to herbal remedies, and it's just unfortunate that like our ancestors are, natives and stuff before modern medicine, we relied on remedies, herbal remedies and home remedies to cure things. And over time that kind of got frowned upon because it wasn't it wasn't packaged and like, sold to you. But now I feel like there's like a wave back to herbal remedies and seeing like the the benefits of like, you know, non chemical based
Yeah, like
medicine. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, yeah.
like holistic medicine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And you know what? And again, Coop, is kind of what we've been talking about since day one, is taking control. And when I talked about like when I went to therapy, they're like, okay, well, do you want, they were so ready to like prescribe, give me like Zoloft or
Yeah.
fucking whatever. And I didn't want that because there's a fear. I had a fear about those because we both come from a very like addicted personality.
Yeah.
Not necessarily meaning that we were addicted to drugs or anything like that,
Right.
but like I have family members who were addicts. And then like when we enjoy something, Coop, me and you, like it's never just the casual fan. We're like all or nothing kind of.
That's a
mentality.
good point because I think about that a lot too.
We're all or nothing.
We're excess.
I know myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know myself. I wouldn't just be like, oh, I think I will abuse that in one way or the other. And that's how you are also. It's all or nothing. We cannot just be a casual fan of a band. It's like, no, we have to know every single thing about it and be all in. We're not just, we're going to sip a cup of coffee every now and then. It's like, no, it's every day. And we know exactly what kind of coffee it is and all this shit.
And don't put no fucking cream in my coffee.
I mean, dude, look at us. We started the fucking episode talking about interfaces and like, oh, well, if maybe we should look at this interface instead. And, oh, I don't know. It's all or nothing. It's not just like, oh yeah, I got this because, it was cheap. No,
Yeah,
we're like, we do our research and shit, dude. But you get it.
We know what we're talking about. Like, no, 100%, dude. Like it's just like it's fun to talk about things that we all kind of relate to, and I have so many like fears, and it's not phobias, but I have so much insecurities about things in life, and it's fun to open up and educate yourself on these things because it helps you understand where you're at.
Yeah.
And that's the therapy with this is it's like people are like, oh, you guys, maybe some people are like, oh, you guys don't know shit and you just come on here and regurgitate nonsense. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But you know what? It makes me feel good. And I have had, and you've had people come to you and tell you, I've actually had people tell me recently, they love our banter and when we go off subject. They also, though, understand what we're talking about most of the time.
Yeah.
Whereas I've heard with like certain people, they're like, it's not that your banter sucks. It's just I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. Yeah. Because it's okay with people not understanding what you're talking about and then shutting down or not quite getting it. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to change what I do. I'm just going to say maybe during that part of the pod,
fast forward.
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Get a cup of coffee going.
Or you know what? Why don't you be part of the inside joke? And email us or text us or let us know what the hell we're talking about so we can explain it to you.
Yeah. Once again, email us at tfthpod@gmail.com. We're gonna jam this down everyone's throats. Like if they're not ready to be plugged, you're ready to be plugged now. And I hope that sounded dirty.
Because it was meant to be dirty.
It was. And I'm meant to be dirty and I'm a filthy person. And speaking of filth... No, I'm kidding. I did shower this morning. I think we're going to end with our closing statement.
Let's do it.
If you don't mind, Danny, why don't you, while I get something ready, why don't you just plug some of the band stuff you got going? How's California Crush doing? Just before
California Crush is doing good. We're just so busy, and I know it sounds like cliche, but like we have three 4/4 of the band are teachers. So of course, like we're busy like doing teachership. And then the 1/4 of the members is starting a new job also. So it's just like adjusting and getting everything ready. But we're doing good. We're excited to get back and jam and kind of fine tune and hopefully play a show in the near future. We're excited for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Quick shout out to my buddies over at the Foot Cult. I'm wearing their
Oh yeah, dude.
One of the shirts today. They so my birthday was 2 weeks ago, and they one of my friends send me a shirt of the U.S. team celebrating a goal over Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, it sent it to me. It was like a prank or whatever. And I posted up on the interweb saying like, "Oh, this Foot Cult shirt sucks" or whatever.
Yeah.
So Foot Cult sent me this one to make up for the shitty one, and this is yeah, good friends of ours.
Hell yeah, Foot Cult, dude. I got some of
Yeah.
their America shorts. Really
Oh, how do you like
comfy.
those ones? Oh, you
They're-
were talking about it. They're
I think I showed them to you.
yeah. I remember you told me.
And then you saw more than you wanted. No, I'm kidding. They are great, and I like them. Okay, so the funny thing about them, the length is high, but athletically it makes every sense in the world
Yeah,
because they're great shorts for running. They're great shorts for lifting because I wear longer shorts, and I always have to pull my shorts up when I'm lifting. Like if you're doing weights, you know, it's a pain in the ass. So these shorts, you don't have to adjust them. Everything's just where it needs to be. It's held intact. Great support. I feel like I'm doing a review on them right now, but I super comfy shorts. I will say this: maybe get a size larger than what you normally get.
yeah,
They do run a little small, not like very very small, but I would say an extra large is more like a large
yeah.
on the waistline. But they are drawstring, so
Mhm.
Foot Call all the way. Check them out. I think it's FVCVLT.com.
FUTCVLT.
Oh, my bad. I screwed it up. So either way, just look up Foot Cult.
Yeah.
You could just do FUTCULT via Google. It will direct you to their webpage as well. They are awesome guys, and they're super into football and creepy stuff. So it's
they're
one of the best meshes out there.
They're definitely belong in our circle with like the horror.
Well, I mean, they are in our circle. They're some of our best, most loyal listeners that we have. I mean, we can't really ask for more. And
yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna hang out with one of those dudes in May, hopefully sooner. Fingers crossed. But definitely, we're gonna go to this concert festival next year in May called Cruel World. It's like Morrissey's gonna be there, Blondie, Violent Femmes, like all this bunch of like all this like 80s,
like first
new
wave,
goth,
like new wave kind of music.
Goth, and we're both into that kind of stuff, so we're excited to like. It's gonna be awesome.
I think you told me this before, but for some reason it's hitting me way harder now as being more awesome. You know why? Because I think I took the time to just shit on Blondie.
Yeah,
even though I'm not the biggest Blondie fan, that lineup is amazing though. Like, you just get so much 80s stuff.
Yeah, and it's all 80s. I think all of them are 80s. I think the only non-80s band is Black Audio, and that's like Davey Havoc from AFI and their guitar player Jade.
Oh, so they're just more of like a retro kind of. They just fit in the bill.
Yeah, but there's just,
That's cool,
Spooky throwing AFI. Oh, okay, cool.
Shit, I'm like, they should just brought Misfits. But that's a whole fucking thing. Who's gonna play? Anyway,
bringing Danzig. Oh, that'll be a fucking amazing.
Wolfgang still technically in the band.
He definitely plays still with them, but
I see him
if
taking
it's Jerry
pictures
only,
of people all the time.
If it's Jerry only, I might go see another band. Not to shun Jerry only.
No, I get it, and exactly. But you're like, you want to see who you want to see, man. You know,
we want to see Santa. Hey, here's a research thing.
Huh?
Merchandise popularity: Misfits, Kiss, or Elvis.
I'm still gonna go. Well, it's gonna be Elvis, Kiss, and then Misfits.
Yeah, 100%.
Mostly because even on merchandise, Misfits doesn't even come close.
No,
because even that coffee mug, I don't even know if that's an official. That's not an official Misfits, is it?
No, this is definitely got it off Etsy.
No, but it looks killer. But that's what I mean. Like, Kiss is so crazy. Gene Simmons is so business oriented that I think he literally okayed every single Kiss design because he also trademarked them to the max, where he'll sue you if like he finds out Zazzle or whoever did that cup. He's Etsy, so petty. He's crazy. Yeah, Etsy. But yeah. So he's fun. Let's. I think we're ready for the closing statement. I'm gonna pull up some music here. I just don't want it to be super loud. I think we're good. All right. Yeah, I lulled down a little bit. That's nice. All right. Fear is everywhere we look, and even in the dark places we dare not look. It is our perception of those fears that give them the fuel and power to echo through our souls. After going through these types of phobias, it's apparent that avoiding these issues will not help, but will grow that fear into a super beast of chaos. We have to face our fears. Exposure seems like the best answer. Although it is considered the most challenging and taxing, it is the best method. We can't always be dependent on substances or miracle medicines. We got to grow that beanstalk ourselves, guys.
We have to make the change.
Make that change.
Love it.
And without the creepy lisp I did, I almost made it through that whole closing statement. Yay!
Hey, good for you. That gets a 95 in my book.
It was the last line of the paragraph.
It's always.
God.
It's always close to the finish.
It's right. It's like I was winning the race, and that last second.
So Jamaican bobsled of you.
Damn. I felt like John Candy running a race. Running after some bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that pretty much does it for this week, guys. We finished up fear, the phobias, whether it be the most common to the most unusual. We also went over some of the treatments, whether it's holistic, Western medicine, or you want to even go herbal. There are options. Look into what's good for you and talk to a physician. Get a second opinion as well. That's my advice. Other than that, you're in control of things. You are the one whipping the horses. You're the one telling them where to go. You're the one putting the blinders on them when you want them to go straight. So keep that in mind. Remind yourself of that, and build that beanstalk. Like I was saying, you got to do it yourself. We can't just get miracle seeds and expect it to work. We got to put the care and all that into it. Otherwise, it's just all for nothing. So we thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week, and be safe and be kind, and don't forget to rewind. All right.
Recording stopped.
Nice.
There she goes. Next time, Sheila, the coffee, tell me it's hot. Thank you.
Please. Tell
Jesus
me. Give me a
Christ.
word of warning. We'll post it.
She's on thin ice.